are you expecting to do?
Well, the training has always been a time for refresher and then new knowledge. So I hope as we share a review from our cases, we also learn from past experience and also hear from our executive director to drink from the cup of knowledge he has always imparted so far.
Normally today is our review meeting. So today we review all our cases from the states where we made the work. So what I expected to take home today is more knowledge on most of the cases we're going to report. This will learn from other states who handle one or two cases.
Okay, I hope to go home today with more information on how to handle cases, to know possible ways to better our work here. So I'm glad and I'm happy to take home some important ideas.
Okay.
Okay, me too. My expectation here is like today is a review meeting. We are here to review our monthly report and also to learn more of how to report in our data.
Number of cases referred was 4. One was a lawyer, and the three other cases were referred to a psychosocial counselor, and all of them were resolved. Madam Doris had 5 cases, and 3 of the cases were referred to the psychosocial counselor, and 1 was unresolved. AGHI Hyacinth has 8 cases, referred 1 to a counselor, and 1 is still in progress. Mr. Benjamin from Imo has 5 cases, and he didn't refer anyone, and all were resolved.
So I need to see first, this case is coming from this particular state, and then the initial of the staff that provided intervention, and then the date and the year and the case number.
And then for the keto exposure, we have 67.5% of persons have been exposed to keto incidences out of the total responder, which is 54% of persons. And then Anambra State have the highest risk. That is 15 out of 19 persons that responded from Anambra have said that they have encountered keto issues. And then for the blackmail group threat, these were the major, the highest form of threat that people encountered. So 52.5% of persons that feel the respondents indicated that they have had blackmail or group threats, as the case may be.
So core principles of psychosocial first aid, a simple way to remember PFA is this. Number 1, look. By looking, you're accessing the situation for safety. You need to understand that not everybody who comes to you is in need of help. Number 2, listen. Once you have looked, you listen. And how do you listen? Approach respectfully and introduce yourself. Because somebody has referred them to you, saying that you're a paralegal officer does not mean you just go ahead and start talking to them like that. You need to let them understand who you are. Oh, this is my name. This is what I do. These are the services I provide. This is where I can function. And these are the things I can do for you. You can also ask them about their needs and their concerns. What would you like me to do for you? You don't just assume what they want. Don't live off perception. Hear from them, because at that point, they are the ones that matter. Then number 3, this is where you link them now. After you've been able to look at them, after you've been able to listen to them, you now link them up with some certain needs that you're able to provide.
Is sex penetration part of the biological and physiological?
Yes.
Good. So when you are hearing the thing sex, the next thing should come to your mind is biological or physiological features, right? Those features that distinguishes between male and female. Yeah. Then when you hear the word gender, what should come to your mind is a social construct, right? A certain society have designed and considered appropriate for either male or a female. Those societal things can be pressure. Imagine that, him being effeminate, he started hating himself because of, what society have said. Some other people would think, okay, yeah, that is fine. At least you were able to achieve the masculine thing. But are you happy in the masculine body? Because at the end of the day, you may not be too expressive of your masculinity because you are trying to satisfy the society and not satisfying yourselves by being expressive in your own body and your own skin. So that is it around gender, sex, and then ability for us to continue to maintain the masculine and the feminine features. Johari's window, it's is an area of study for us, which helps us in our relationships, in our management, both in our personal life and also in our relationship with people. Okay? When we are working together, we are all coming from different societies, we are coming from different backgrounds. And it's important for us to begin to understand different traits that exist within us, the way we behave, and the way people also see us, and the way we also see ourselves. And then some of the inner abilities that we have.
Wow!
How was the review meeting today?
It was actually a very wonderful one. We actually discussed a lot of things. We capitalized on our strengths, discovered our weaknesses, sought out areas for improvement, and we also shared ideas. Yeah, so we took home a lot of things within ourselves as colleagues.
I learned a lot from my cases. It was reviewed and the corrections were taken. I also learned the difference between sex and gender, which will help me in further handling my cases.
Okay, actually, I've been having this misconception about sex and gender. I think during the course of the review and then knowledge impact, we were told that sex most times means biological and then physiological. And then we were told that gender is mostly societal expectations or societal construct. So I think I took something from that to know that gender often does not mean that it is male or female.
Okay, I learned a lot. Like today is my first day hearing about Juari's window, which is all about knowing open areas of life, and also the hidden areas and the blind areas and the unknown areas, which when we paired and my partner explained those blind areas and the hidden unknown areas to me. So I was glad with the training and also the other corrections that were made. Glad that at least they affected me very, very well.
Throughout the meeting, I learned a lot actually. I learned a lot. But let me be specific. There's this I learned about this Juhari's window. Yeah, Juhari's window. In Igbo we say Iman Kaiman Kozo, which is no. So there are things that you don't know about yourself that other people will know about you. So it's best when you're relating with them, they tell you, your blind spots, your unknown area. So in that way, they can help you know where you can develop and then grow. And then you on your own side, you take those corrections and then work on it. So I think for me, that is very, very.
I said before, I learned many things today. Our ED taught us about sex and gender, and also our report was reviewed and many corrections were made, and also gift sharing. It was really fun, and I really enjoy everything.
The review meeting went well. We had lots of activities that we did. First of all, we reviewed our cases. We pointed out the errors in documentation and also the strategies we used to address those cases. And then we went further to present, an overhaul of all the cases that was handled. And then we also talked about the research. This presentation was done by me. So we are carrying out a research on human rights violation trends in Southeast Nigeria. So we are still in the stage of collating data, and then we've presented what we have, and then the participants, which are the paralegals and also the counselors and other staffs of AGHI, have made their inputs, and then we have also discovered areas of improvement, and it's left for us to go back and then look at those areas and improve on them before we make our final recommendation based on our research. I am very, very excited for this aspect of the work, especially that I am, opportuned to be taking a lead on this with my executive director also leading me on that. So another thing we did today that was interesting is the gift exchange, and also the box thing that we did where people, are paired, and then you discover from your colleague your hidden point, your the things that you cannot see about yourself that the others can see. So these were the highlights for me today, and especially the food. The food was very sweet. Everyone's food is always the best. Yeah, so these were the highlights for me. Thank you, Leo. See you next month for our review meeting, and also watch out for the research that we are doing, as this is is a very big thing, and I am happy to be part of the process. So we are going to go back to the drawing board and address all the issues that has been raised, and also carry out more data findings, as there were areas that we have not actually addressed, and these are the things that we hope to address in this going forward. So let's watch out for this particular research and see ways that this would help us to in what we are doing, and also other CBOs that are in Southeast can perfectly understand if they want to implement for key and marginalized population, especially in the aspects of human rights violations in the Southeast. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, we've gathered for a monthly review meeting where we, for us, the monthly review meeting is both an accountability process and also an M&E framework when we assess the work our paralegals have done. Generally, all the staff, both paralegals, psychosocial counselors, across all our programs, to look at the problems and then some of the hanging fruits that we were identified during the month. And in this month, we've critically looked at some of the cases, particularly cases of human rights violations that paralegals have intervened on during the month, as well as the psychosocial counselors that have provided general overview of the cases they handled, providing mental health support, and then paralegal programs, providing interventions on human rights violations. So we've looked at all the critical documents, which they use in collecting their data, and then also seeing how we can better provide feedback based on the areas of weaknesses we've identified, and also encourage the areas of strength. For us, the sustained momentum of this initiative helps to build an improved system for us and across all our programs. And we hope that by next month, some of the gaps that we've identified during this period will properly be addressed in the next review meeting. Thank you very much for continuing support. Thank you.